Well, it's a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Snap-On Kalgoorlie International Speedway for the first race meeting of the 2025-2026 season. My name is Alan Small, and I'll be your announcer tonight for this season opener. Remarkable kicking the season off in February in the Goldfields, but a bit of a change to the calendar for 2026. Great to see so many of you in the house. A bumper crowd on this Saturday night. It's been warm, and now it's been a little bit windy, and we've had a little bit of rain from the sky. Remarkably, that rain shower coming through 10 or so minutes ago, unbelievable, has put a fair bit of water on the racing surface, but that's not going to worry us too much tonight here in Kalgoorlie. And we're here for the latest round number 12 of the Pro Dirt Late Model Series, brought to us tonight by Oz Cub Services, Perseverance Drilling, and Hudson Prestige Engineering. Of course, we are the Snap-On Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. And for a few of us, we were down the highway last night. We're down at the Tyres and More Esperance Speedway for round number 11 of this two-night tour through the eastern part of our state for the stars and the cars from the Pro Dirt Late Model Series with Late Model Racing Western Australia. And it was Warren Oldfield taking the win last night. It was a bruising encounter, to say the least. Joe Chalmers, the series points leader, coming into last night with a very banged-up race car at the end of the night, and a number of the teams working into the small hours of last night or even this morning, getting their cars turned around. Unfortunately, Michael Holmes going upside down in car number 91, but the Michael Holmes Racing Go Lithium team looking to bounce back this evening here in Kalgoorlie. Jamie Oldfield will not start tonight, along with his brother Jason. Jamie qualified on the outside of the front row in his Scarterfield Smash Repairs ODH Mechanical number 51, but unfortunately an engine failure in the early laps of last night's A-Main saw Jamie a non-finisher and then a non-starter tonight here in Kalgoorlie. Jason Oldfield, his older brother, was driving the Litchfield Motorsports number 5 Revolution last night and got caught up in a number of the incidents that took place in the main event down there at Esperance. The local Esperance drivers were in the mix. Also, Matt Robbins was running inside the top 3 before a racing incident between himself and Bo Oldfield saw the 57 make contact with the wall. The team have worked pretty much through the night to get the 57 car to race here on his home track course. Matt been doing a lot of racing down at Esperance and down at the Perth Motorplex with the Pro Dirt Late Model Series over the course of this season in anticipation of the Snap-On Tools Kalgoorlie Speedway opening this evening. And if you haven't done already, make sure you grab a program as you head into the venue, the 2026 season calendar on the back page. And we kicking things off with this massive Pro Dirt Late Model Series. It's also the second and final night of the Kalgoorlie versus Esperance Challenge. The last night it was held, the opening round was held down at Esperance, and Esperance actually lead the way in the point score, but only slightly heading into tomorrow night, into tonight, I should say. It's a very even affair. And of course, in 4 weeks' time from tonight, the Maddox and Turner Sprint Car Series makes its return to Kalgoorlie, along with the JSRA Junior Sedan. So it's going to be a big couple of shows to kick things off for 2026 here at the Snap-On Tools Kalgoorlie Speedway. The podium last night, Warren Oldfield led home his nephew Bo in that main event. As I mentioned, Joe Chalmers with a banged-up race car to come from the back of the field to finish in third place. Just the 8 finishes last night. Jay Carty was a little bit in the wars as well. In car number 52, they've had some work to do overnight, along with Ben Straughtons and a whole host more. Some banged-up race cars. Nathan Richards was caught up in an incident early in the night in car number 74 for Carbusters, a sport chassis with some work to do. Peter Walker and Jeff Powell renewed hostilities in the A-Main last night. Peter Walker, unfortunately, a non-finisher in car number 81. Jeff Dickerson, another one with some damage. It was a bruising affair for round number 11 of the Pro Dirt Late Model Series. And of course, the guys just looking to get through tonight, as they've got a big couple of weeks coming up at the Perth Motorplex in 2 weeks' time. The West Australian Late Model title will be held over 2 nights, and you'll be able to watch every lap live on Clay Per View. And there'll be an interstate and American presence at that event in a couple of weeks' time. Of course, 5 nights of racing in 8 days. But we're going to have cars out on track in a few moments' time. We'll take a bit of music. Don't forget the canteen and bar is in operation here in the front straight for your convenience. So grab yourself something nice to eat and a cold drink as well, and settle in for the return of Speedway in the Goldfields for 2026. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have cars at the pit gate. Our late models will be out on track very shortly for some engine starts and wheel packing. Just going to dial the racetrack in a little bit. As you can see, a fair bit of moisture on the racing surface due to that passing shower. Of course, we have been pumping the water into the racing surface over the last few days in anticipation of some warm weather and a bit of a breezy Saturday night. Of course, big thanks to not only our major sponsors tonight on the local Kalgoorlie side of things, bringing us this race meeting. They've been Hudson Prestige Engineering, Perseverance Drilling, and Ozcub Services. We've also got on the Pro Dirt Late Model Series side of things, Canning Vale and Maddington Toyota, ABN Trademates, McPhee Freight, Scarterfield Smash Repairs, CTM Recruitment, Heatley Safety and Industrial, Ross's Auctioneers and Valuers, big supporters this weekend are Ross's Auctioneers and Valuers. I've got some hats and stubby holders donated by those guys I'm going to give out over the course of the night. Superfit seat covers, Westlake Auto Electrics, My Race Pass, Wilson Brewing Company. We did sample a little bit of the Wilson Brewing Company product after the race meeting last night, and absolutely sensational. We were responsible. We only had a couple of those, but absolutely sensational. The Wilson Brewing Company, you can find their headquarters down on the south coast in Albany. Also, big thanks to the Event Mill and Dirt Track Nutters. If you're fairly new to Speedway and you want to keep up to date with all the results, the grids for tonight, the points, and all the data and information you can gather, we've got an app for that nowadays in Australian Speedway. It's called My Race Pass. Download that app today, and all the timing, all the data you could possibly need from this race meeting in your hand on your smart device. So that's the My Race Pass app. Download it today. And a very good evening to all the people watching at home. We are live streaming on YouTube tonight, free for the folks that aren't here, as our late models make their way out on track for round number 12 of the Pro Dirt Series. Led out by Abby Pickering, had a feature race win last Saturday night at the Perth Motorplex. Had some mechanical woes last night. In fact, the axle tube was cracked on the left rear of the Roadline Civil Contractors Canberra 95. Still brought it home for a fourth place finish. Michael Holmes, remarkable effort from the team. He was upside down on his lid last night. He got caught up in an accident not of his making, and he said to me, Smalley, in 36 years, I've never been upside down on a race car. He's been racing for 36 years. Street stocks is where he started. Then he was in Amcars for a while. I mean, late models for the best part of 20 years. And he'd never been upside down before in a race car until last night after 36 years straight of racing for Michael Holmes. But the team have got the car patched up, and he'll race here tonight in Kalgoorlie. Car number 57, Matt Robbins, had a heat win last night, was right on the verge of a podium result before it come unstuck. It's been a big effort from the team to get the car here for tonight. Matt Sankson in 28, he was in the wars as well. Who wasn't in the wars last night down at the Tyres and More Esperance Speedway? Car number 80, he's got a nice clean body on his car because he didn't race last night. Damien Hudson, a local from this part of the world. Last start feature race winner last night, Warren Oldfield. It was his 37th career victory in Pro Dirt Late Model competition. And for a few stats, courtesy of my good friend Scott Beattie, this is the 314th round ever held for the Pro Dirt Late Model Series and the 11th time the series has visited Kalgoorlie. Warren Oldfield has a couple of victories. We'll just check that stat. I think it was 4 main event victories at this venue. He had his maiden last night at Esperance. He'd never won a main event at Esperance previously. Had the 7-time Pro Dirt Late Model Series champion. Of course, it was just the 7th ever round for the series to be held in Esperance last night. Warren Oldfield, just double-check that stat that I was going to wheel out from my good friend Scott Beattie. He sent it through to me. Yeah, 4 feature race wins. We've had 11 rounds here. Brad Blake with 3 wins. Lee Watt with 1. Kai Blight with 1. And Joe Chalmers, the only other driver in the field tonight that has won a Pro Dirt round here in the Goldfields. Jay Carty out on track in 52. He was in the mix for a top 5 result last night before getting caught up in a little bit of strife. Had to go to the tail of the field as a result of that. Down under graphics, one of the locals, Jeff Powell, got plenty of family and friends in the house tonight. He always relishes the opportunity to race in a major event. On his home track, the driver of car number 24, Nathan Richards in 74, the Swart chassis for Carbusters in Maddington. He had some damage to contend with last night. Early in the night, he had that sorted out so he could start the feature race. So he missed his second qualifying heat last night, did Nathan Richards. Speaking of qualifying heats, there's no time trials tonight. We're just going to hot lap our late models in 4 groups. And we have done a pill draw for the 2 rounds of heat, so there'll be 2 8-lap heat races per driver, and we'll tally up the points, and that'll give you our A main grid for the 30-lap round number 12 A main for the Pro Dirt Late Model Series. Pro Dirt Late Model Series, one and only visit for 2026 here to the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. But we do have the Red Dirt Rumble for late models coming up. We'll just check that date. The 16th of May. The 16th of May, the Red Dirt Rumble heading to Kalgoorlie. Greg Horan out there in the Esperance Ag Services 04. Good evening to Adam Klink if he's trackside. I believe he was meant to be here. Clinky on the commentary with me last night at the Tyres and More Esperance Speedway. Always a character. He's the main man at Esperance Ag Services. Smoking Joe Chalmers, familiar with this venue. Had a Pro Dirt win here. He's also won the Red Dirt Rumble before. Ben Stroughton's in 76 out of Esperance. Was on song for a top 5 result last night. Jeff Dickerson in the 199. He's got his car turned around after a non-finish last night. But it was a tough night at the office for our late models at Esperance. A lot of these guys and their crews running on minimal sleep to not only got to fix the car, they also had to journey just shy of 400 kilometres up the highway to be here for tonight's race meeting. So it's a big weekend. Take the journey down. A lot of them left on Thursday afternoon after work. They've worked all day Thursday, jumped in the truck or the tow vehicle and headed down the highway, got to Esperance late Thursday night, in some cases early Friday morning. Race last night. Get the cars turned around and up here to Kalgoorlie for tonight, then drive home tomorrow, back to work Monday. It's been a big couple of days. Of course, Jeff Powell with a 5th place result last night. It was Ben Stroughton 6th, Greg Horan 7th, Jay Carty 8th, Matt Sankson 9th with the 9 finishes in that A main. Down at the Tyres and More Esperance Speedway. Track starting to come in nicely. Dean Shaw, the president of the Boulder Speedway Association, and all the team here at the Kalgoorlie International Speedway have been working overtime the last couple of days to get the racetrack dialed in. How good is it to have Speedway back in 2026 here in the Goldfields? We're going to have some hot laps very shortly for our late models and our major sponsors again tonight. Big thanks to Cub Service, Perseverance Drilling, Hudson Prestige Engineering, and on the Pro Dirt Late Models Series side of things, Ross's Auctioneers and Valuers, along with a whole host more. Also thanks to Canning Vale and Maddington Toyota, have really jumped on board Speedway in Western Australia in a big way. And of course, the Maddington Toyota Sprint Car Series here on Saturday, the 21st of March. That's going to be a big night for Speedway in the Goldfields. Almost as big as what we have in store tonight. Look at this bumper crowd. You've been starved of Speedway in this part of the world, but we're back for 2026. So getting set for some green flag running for the first time here at the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. Cars out on track for this first group of hot laps. There's no points or anything on hot laps, just an opportunity for these cars to dial themselves in. 74 of Nathan Richards. 76 out of Esperance is Ben Stroughton's. The 80 from here in Kalgoorlie is Damien Hudson. 81 for Snap-on. And Ambrose Logistics is Peter Walker looking to bounce back tonight. 199 is Jeff Dickerson. And Matt Sankson in 28 on this balmy, breezy Saturday night, late February. It's summer here in the West. And what better way to spend a summer Saturday night than at the Speedway. Track's a little bit greasy underfoot, but That'll dial in nicely over the course of the night. And our support classes contesting the annual Esperance versus Kalgoorlie Challenge. So we're green with hot lap session number 1 for round number 12 of the Pro Dirt Late Model Series. Brought to us tonight by Perseverance Hudson, Prestige Engineering, and Cub Service. Here in the Goldfields, Peter Walker, Damien Hudson and Ben Straughtons. 3 household names, late models in this part of the world, albeit Peter Walker now residing in Perth. All very familiar with the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway is Walker, Hudson and Ben Straughtons. Lap times, no track records being set at the moment, as you would imagine. 20.487, the quick time so far by the 81 of Peter Walker, but no qualifying, so it's just an opportunity for these guys to dial themselves in and the track at the same time. Peter Walker goes even quicker again on that last circulation with a 19.233. Going to get 5 laps each. In hot laps are our late models. As they thunder down the main straight, Ben Straughtons, 76 car, has been a little bit untidy this hot lap session. One of the regulars in late models in the eastern part of our state is Ben Straughtons in 76. At a 19.231 for Peter Walker, his quick time. 19.845 for Matt Sangston in the 28 car out of Perth. 20.092 for Damien Hudson. Nathan Richards, 20.311. Ben Straughtons, looks like he's got a couple of handling dramas with the 76 car, with 20.655. But that quick time, a 19.231 for Peter Walker, as I mentioned a couple of times. No points or anything on hot laps, just an opportunity for these guys to dial themselves in. A 19.231, Peter Walker, Matt Sangston, a 19.845. Then it was Damien Hudson with a 20.092. The 3 quickest drivers in that particular hot lap session. Jeff Powell from Cow, rolling out on the racetrack in car number 24. I saw his good mate Jack Barnwell down in the bar. Jack Barnwell, I believe, heading into late models in the not-too-distant future. Correct me if I'm wrong. Rod Mazzara, I have not spoken about the night that Rocket had last night. 2 flat tyres in his 2 heat races. Was motoring from the back of the field into a top 5 result. Was on the high line of the Tyres More Esperance Speedway. Then he had an issue with the fuel pump. So that gave him a non-finish. He didn't finish a race last night, did Rod Mazzara, who's a former late model nationals champion. He was one of the all-time greats of West Australian production sedan racing. Younger brother of Rick, who's no stranger to this part of the world. And looking to bounce back tonight. He's actually had to borrow the fuel pump off Jamie Oldfield's car to race tonight. So if Jamie Oldfield was racing this evening, after having that engine failure last night, it would have been difficult for Rod Mazzara to be able to race in the high-tech oils. Number 21 for General Cranes, Warwick Force on the spanners. We bumped into Warwick today at Salmon Gums. He was philosophical, like he always is, about last night. He says tonight's a new night. We'll put last night behind us. And Rod Mazzara, very familiar with the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. Sean Cubbage was in the wars last night in the 7 car, but we thank Cubbo and his team from Cub for their massive commitment to the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. Big supporters of this Pro Dirt Late Model Series round coming to this part of the world. Great to have Michael Holmes back. We didn't think we'd have him tonight after going upside down last night in car number 91. But we'll be a couple of moments before we get the second group of hot laps underway. Warren Oldfield with his 37th A-Main victory in Pro Dirt Late Model Series competition last night in the Longhorn. Always used to say in the Ultra Tune Morley entry, but no longer the case these days. But has great corporate support from Oldfield Settlement Services. Also Snap-on, Valvoline, Jim's Test and Tag, and a whole host more. And the 04 also out there for Esperance Ag Services of Greg Horan. So just word coming through from our stewarding team that are in studio number 1 to my left that sun is in the eyes at the moment. That's why Sean Cubbage has pulled up here in the main straight. So it'll be a couple of moments before we get the second group of hot laps underway. Great opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to head to the canteen, grab yourself something to eat. We'll have just a couple of minute delay here before we get underway. The sun just in the absolute wrong place at the moment. And of course, it's great to have so many of you here on this Saturday night. You've been starved to Speedway, but the canteen in operation here in the front straight. Grab yourself something to eat. I know a lot of you are set up around the venue. Great to see Speedway alive and well in the Goldfields. It's going to be a bumper 2026 season. After tonight, we've got the Pro Dirt Late Model Series and the Kalgoorlie versus Esperance Challenge tonight. And then the 21st of March, the Maddington Turner Sprint Car Series returns to the Goldfields. Mark that down in your calendar. They'll be supported by a bumper lineup of junior sedans, also street stocks and production sedans on the 21st of March. The Red Dirt Rumble's coming up on the 16th of May. And the annual Bob Wakefield Cup for street stocks and the Production Gold Cup. There's going to be a daytime show on Saturday the 6th of June. That'll be a big sedan meeting in this part of the world. So it's going to be a big season in 2026 in the Goldfields. But a couple of moments' time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have the cars out on track. Well, they're out on track at the moment, but firing into life for the second group of hot laps for round number 12 of the Pro Dirt Late Model Series, brought to us tonight by Ross's Auctioneers and Valuers on the late model side of things, and Hudson Prestige Engineering, Perseverance Drilling, and Ozcub Service. Well, we're agreeing with second group of hot laps for our late models. Round number 12 of the Pro Dirt Late Model Series. So they thunder into the Goldfields on a Saturday night. Greg Horan in the 04, Sean Cubbage in 7. Two regulars at this venue, Greg Horan from Esperance, Sean Cubbage from Kalgoorlie. Michael Holmes at 91, Michael Holmes Racing, Go Lithium, Barry Wright Arcan. 21, Rod Mazzara looking to bounce back. As I mentioned in the high-tech oils, entry 15 is Warren Oldfield. And at 24, Jeff Powell, Warren Oldfield seen enough. Car's dialed in beautifully. Jeff Powell, top 5 result last night in the Down Under graphics. Number 24, one of the driving forces behind the Red Dirt Rumble over the journey for late models. After campaigning production sedans for a long time at this venue, Jeff Powell in late models for the best part of the last 5 to 6 years here in Kalgoorlie. Checker flag comes down, a 16.564 for Warren Oldfield. 2 seconds to the better of anyone else in that group. As I mentioned, no points or anything else. He did that on his opening flying lap. So speaking of the concluding stages, Rod Mazzara with a 16.320. As we're still green, so 16.320, but Warren Oldfield only did 1 lap, and it was a 16.564. Michael Holmes, 18.380. Sean Cubbage, 18.849. Jeff Powell, 18.391. But that quick time in that group, Rod Mazzara in the car number 21, looking to bounce back tonight with a podium result with a 16.320. In the General Crane's entry, as I said, did not finish a race last night. 2 flat tyres from his 2 heat races, and a non-finish when he was worked his way from the back of the field to be running in around 5th position in the main event. He worked to the top shelf of the Tyres and More Esperance Speedway. And before you knew it, he was on the infield about the mid-race distance of that one last night. Down in Esperance. If you haven't done already, ladies and gentlemen, download the My Race Pass app. They're great supporters of late model racing here in the West. Joe Chalmers out on track in 23.52. Jake Carty was Joe Chalmers with a Pro Dirt Late Model Series victory at this venue. In the past, former national champion, the 11, Bo Oldfield, runner-up last night. He's now got 4 podium results to his name in late models without a Pro Dirt Late Model Series victory. His former Winter Series champion is Bo Oldfield in the Red Line Roll Cages 11. 57, Matt Robbins from right here in Kalgoorlie Boulder. And 95, Abby Pickering, the lady racer, who had the Pro Dirt Series maiden victory last Saturday night at the Perth Motorplex when the late models were the support act to the Cricky Boys shootout last weekend. Straight out of the box, Joe Chalmers with the quick time of the night. 15.468 as the late models thunder around the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. So Joe Chalmers, the only driver in the 15-second bracket in hot laps so far. In fact, as hot laps come to a close, he's the quick man. Unfortunately, it's going to amount to no points or anything like that. It's just an opportunity for these guys to dial themselves in with 4 hot laps. Of course, a number of the Perth-based competitors wouldn't have raced here in Kalgoorlie in a while. It's actually been 18 months since the Pro Dirt Late Model Series race has been held at this venue. Go back to November of 2024 was the last time we saw the Pro Dirt Late Model Series in this part of the world. But Joe Chalmers, Smokin' Joe, national champion a couple of years ago with a 15.468. Matt Robbins in the 57-second overall with a 16.049. Jay Carty with a 16.691. Abby Pickering, 16.741. Bo Oldfield, 16.943. And Jay Bassinelli, who is here tonight, not making the call for hot laps. So we'll minus Jay Bassinelli in that one in car number 36. But hot laps now concluded. ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into our support racing very shortly. We've got Amcars followed by Street Stocks, Junior Sedans and Production Sedans before we get into heats 1 and 2 for the late models, round number 12 of their Pro Dirt Late Model Series. At this particular juncture of proceedings, please ask you to be upstanding if you're able to and remove your headgear as we play our country's national anthem here on this Saturday night as we kick off Speedway for 2026 here in the Goldfields. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, as we go racing on a Saturday night. Who's excited? Flash your lights, toot your horns if you're sitting in your vehicle. Even give us a cheer. Who's excited for the return of Speedway? Late models here in the Goldfields. Hopefully nothing too terminal for Warren Oldfield being pushed back to the pit area. The winner last night in Esperance, 7-time Pro Dirt Late Model Series champion, if you don't mind, is Warren Oldfield. In the snap-on Valvoline number 15. Jeff Dickinson also requiring some assistance to head back to the pit area. But we're only moments away from the first race of the calendar year here in Kalgoorlie. That'll be the Amcar Nationals. Of course, all of our support classes are almost racing as a team. It's club versus club. It's Kalgoorlie versus Esperance. We had the first night last night, night 2 tonight here in the Goldfields. And it's a very tight points battle. They did read it out at the presentations last night. Off the top of my head, it was 391 to 368. So there's not much in it at all. It's going to come down to the wire. So every point critical across the course of the night. And, of course, the local competitors here in Kalgoorlie kicking off their season point score, their track championship for 2026. I'm excited. Speedway's back in the Goldfields. The late models are back in this part of the world for the Pro Dirt Late Model Series. It's always a great Saturday night at the Speedway in this part of the world that's got a tremendous history in the sport. Hosted many state national titles over the years. World Series sprint cars used to visit on occasion. There's been some major events for the sport held in this part of the world. As our Amcar Nationals are out on track. And it'll be 8 laps of journey for their first heat race of 2026. Well, it's going to be Sean Kerwin and Sean Mazzucchelli, your front row in cars 7 and 48 respectively. Will Browning in 41, 93 Mitchell White, and the 99 of Lee Parsons. We're green. The first race of 2026 here in Kalgoorlie is all go. And the Amcar Nationals, in a mainstay of the sport in the eastern part of Western Australia for a long time now. And Sean Mazzucchelli, feature winner last night in Esperance. He's local here in the Goldfields, and he leads down the back straight into turn number 3 for the first of 8 occasions on a freshly watered track. Remarkable after that decent shower of rain we got. That we had to water the track straight after hot laps from our late models. But the first race of the new season here in Kalgoorlie is all going. It's fairly strung out early. And Sean Mazzucchelli, the man to beat in Amcar Nationals in Western Australia these days, leads the way. Sean Kerwin, who hails out of Esperance, sitting in second, in car number 7 for MLP Civil. 41 from Kalgoorlie is Will Browning. Mitchell White in 93. And Lee Parsons in 99 is the way they run. But Sean Mazzucchelli thunders into turn number 3 as the lights start to take effect here at the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. And Sean Mazzucchelli leads the way. 48 from the 7 is Sean Kerwin. 41, Will Browning. The Purple Machine, he was in action last night at Esperance as well. But we'll be halfway home in this 8-lap outing. 2 heat races and a feature race for our support classes tonight. So 2 rounds of racing across all the classes for the heat race side of things before their all-important finals. And it's Mazzucchelli leading the way from Kerwin. Will Browning in 41. Back in 3rd place from Mitchell White and Lee Parsons. But Mazzucchelli with 3 to run. He leads by 1.2 seconds back to the 7 of Sean Kerwin. It's just got just a little bit of fluid or something coming out of the rear of the 7 car. Will Browning in 41 as our leader just negotiating the first lap car. He's coming up on the 93 of Mitchell White and also the 99 of Lee Parsons, who's staying right out of the way of our leader. Sean Mazzucchelli hugs the pole line here in the front straight. As we've got now 2 laps remaining. 3 stocks to come after this. It'll be followed by junior sedans and production sedans to kick off things for our support classes to the 12th round of the Pro Det Late Model Series. But Sean Mazzucchelli brings the 48 car out of turn number 4. It's the white flag, 1 to run. Sean Kerwin and Will Browning in distant 3rd place at the moment in a fairly pedestrian way to begin the new season here in Kalgoorlie. But Sean Mazzucchelli is going to take some beating in the Amcar class this season here in Kalgoorlie. Exits out of turn number 4 and he'll take the win. Sean Kerwin, try as he may, couldn't run him down. He'll be a runner-up in car number 7. Then a long way back to the 41 of Will Browning. Mitchell White 1 lap down in the 93. And also 1 down was the 99 of Lee Parsons. Parsons and Kerwin out of Esperance to be here tonight. But Sean Mazzucchelli gets the job done in car number 48 from the 7 of Sean Kerwin and the 41 of Will Browning will be your top 3. The Amcar Nationals. Just quick time of the race at 19.659, which belonged to our race winner, Sean Mazzucchelli, and he won by 2.6 seconds over Sean Kerwin as race number 1 of 16 for tonight's program has been run and won. Make that 17 races tonight on the program. We have had events A, B, and C already. That was hot laps for our late models. And for more information about the Kalgoorlie Speedway, you can find the Kalgoorlie Speedway on Facebook, Instagram, all that social media stuff. We are streaming live on YouTube tonight, free of charge. So if you've got any family or friends that aren't in town this evening, couldn't be here for various reasons, let them know that we are streaming live tonight on YouTube for the folks that can't be here as we bring Speedway back to the Goldfields in 2026. Set to go green with heat number 1 of the straight stocks. Are going to go anti-clockwise to kick off 2026 here in Kalgoorlie. If you're new to Speedway street stocks, they can go clockwise or anti-clockwise around the racetrack. They flip the coin and decide which way they're going to go. And Sugar Ray Leonard, the Grandmaster's number 21, he's going to lead down the back straight. Long-time campaigner in street stocks at this venue. Casey Pleckers, who was racing last night in Esperance, is up in second in 85. And I'm going to struggle with this name. It's a new one to me in the 46. He's racing in the street stock state title next weekend at Collie as well. Rick Laddersy. If I've got that wrong, come and see me, and we'll work on it. Linton Dickerson's back there in 4th in the car 100. Feature race winner last night down in Esperance was Dicko. Greg Stone in 29 and Jacob Hill in 88. His first race meeting at this venue in a street stock. Recently graduated out of junior sedans. In fact, he raced in the national junior sedan title only just over a month ago down in Esperance, did Jacob Hill. He's now in street stocks and will tackle the street stock state title next weekend in Collie. So there's a few of them here tonight that are heading to that part of the world next weekend. Getting underway from Friday afternoon with official practice, racing next Saturday and Sunday on the long weekend. But it's Ray Leonard leading the way from the 46 of young Ricky back there in second from Linton Dickerson, who ran very wide on the exit of turn number 2, did Dicko. In the Esperance Combined Tire and Mechanical, AM Wreckers number 100, Commodore from the South Coast. Further back to Pleckis, Stone, and Jacob Hill. There's 4 Falcons at the tail, all from Esperance as well. But it's a Kalgoorlie 1-2 at the moment. Ray Leonard, vastly experienced campaigner. He's raced super sedans, he's raced late models, raced 360 sprint cars as well back in the day. Was actually racing in a national title at this venue for 360 sprint cars. I had the opportunity of being here that weekend for that. But it's Ray Leonard who leads the way from the 46 of Ricky Laddersley. He's back in second from Linton Dickerson. Further back to Casey Pleckers, Greg Stone, and Jacob Hill's the way they run. But this 8-lap outing has 2 laps remaining. Ray Leonard's quick time so far at 21.600. That's actually eclipsed by Linton Dickerson back there in third, who's at the quick time on lap number 3 with a 21.466. And it's Commodores 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Falcons 4, 5, and 6. And they're at opposite ends of the racetrack at the moment. But Ray Leonard, we just call him Sugar, gets the white flag, 1 to run. And the ex-Wakefield owned Commodore, proudly supported by Groundmasters. Bob Wakefield, an absolute legend of Speedway in the Goldfields. So through turns 3 and 4 for the last time. And it's going to be Ray Leonard who'll take the victory. Kick things off for our street stocks in car number 21. He takes the win. The 46 of Ricky Laddersley. Further back to Linton Dickerson. Casey Pleckis a long way back in 4th in car number 85. The Falcon from Esperance. Greg Stone in 29 and rounding them out, the 88. And his first race in a street stock at this venue after a very productive junior sedan career at Jacob Hill. Quick time of the race, 21.466, which belonged to the driver of car number 100, Linton Dickerson, back there in 3rd place. But that's the way we saw hit number 1 of the street stocks, event number 2 on your program. I just had Dean Shaw remind me that we got the raffle for Kalgoorlie Speedway. It's $29,000 cash on offer. You can jump on the Kalgoorlie Speedway Facebook page. There's a QR code there. First prize, $25,000. Second prize, $3,000. Third prize, $1,000. Tickets are $100 each. There's 800 of them available. So $29,000 cash to Kalgoorlie Speedway raffle. That's to generate some much-needed funds for some infrastructure projects that are going on at this venue in the next little while. And I know I've mentioned Hudson Prestige Engineering. They've donated a heap of equipment to get a number of different jobs done at this venue in the lead up to the new season. So big thanks once again to Hudson Prestige Engineering. Also Ozcub Services. Snap-on, the major sponsor. Snap-on Kalgoorlie. Give Ray a call. In fact, he was out there in that last three-stock race. That's Ray Leonard, the team from Snap-on Kalgoorlie. But he also wanted me to thank, I'm talking about Dean Shaw, that is, Access Mineral Services. A huge thank you to those guys for their outstanding support during the off-season works in preparation for the 2026 season. Access Mineral Services generously assisted with screening and preparing the clay surface on the racetrack properly screened and conditioned dirt is critical to delivering safe, consistent and competitive racing, and their expertise and equipment made a significant difference to the quality of the Kalgoorlie International Speedway surface heading into the new season. Operating across Australia, Access Mineral Services specialises in mineral processing, screening, crushing and material handling solutions for the mining industry. Their professionalism, reliability and ability to mobilise the right equipment for the job ensured the racetrack was race ready well before opening night. Behind every great race meeting is a huge amount of off-track preparation and support from local industry leaders like Access Mineral Services, and this is what it takes to make all this possible. We sincerely appreciate the commitment to local motorsports here in the Goldfields. We thank Access Mineral Services for their support. Also, another thing, please be patient with the canteen staff here in the front straight. A little bit understaffed. They've had a couple of staff members pull out at the last minute, so please be patient with the canteen staff here in the front straight. It might be a little bit of a longer wait than you had hoped, but they're a bit short-staffed in the canteen, so appreciate your patience there, ladies and gentlemen. As you can imagine, the Kalgoorlie International Speedway is a not-for-profit organisation, largely dependent on volunteer workforce, so your patience with that would be greatly appreciated. And if you're at the venue, the bar is in operation here in the main straight, but please act responsibly here at the venue tonight. We've got the New Star Junior sedans out on track. Ella Whitehead in 28. 25 is Ken Hedder. 18, Jesse Leeson, feature winner last night on the New Stars at Esperance. 199 is Molly Dickerson. And 23, Mia Ursig, your starters for this 8-lap outing for heat number 1 of the New Star Junior sedans as we're green off turn number 4. And Whitehead, the local Kalgoorlie driver, taking on the 4 visitors from Esperance in the New Stars tonight. And it really was the battle between the 2 Lancers last night, 2 familiar surnames in the sport down on the south coast, the southeast of our state. Molly Dickerson and Jesse Leeson in 18. Leeson quickly up behind the 199 of Molly. Of course, 199 in the late models tonight is Jeff Dickerson. 1 down and 7 remain for our New Star Junior sedans. Further back to the Suzuki Swift, 25 of Ken Hedder. 28, the pole sitter Ella Whitehead goes back around the outside of the 25 car down there in turn number 1. And Mia Ursig running them out in car number 23. But the 2 Lancers have split the scene on the rest of them. Molly Dickerson in 199 and the 18 of Jesse Leeson. If you're new to Speedway, our New Star Junior sedans are either in their first or second season of Speedway racing. And they're aged between 10 and 17 years of age. And if you've got a son or daughter that you'd love to get involved in Speedway, it's a great form of motorsport, very family friendly. Talk to any of the committee here in Kalgoorlie. If you're thinking that's the direction you might want your child to go in, certainly the right way to go about it. There's plenty of people that will help you make that possible here in the Goldfields. As Molly Dickerson leading this one with 3 down and 5 remaining, just shy of being halfway home. And heat number 1 of the New Star Junior sedans is Dickerson from Leeson. And a long way back to the beautifully turned out Hyundai Excel car number 28 of Ella Whitehead. 25 of Ken Hedder. And Mia Ursig in 23 running them out. In another one of the beautifully turned out Mitsubishi Lancers from the Tyres and More Esperance Speedway. They've only got 1 meeting left for this season, so I reckon a lot of the Esperance drivers will now turn their attention to racing here in Kalgoorlie over the next couple of months. As Dickerson brings the 199 into turn number 3. We've got 3 laps remaining this time around, and it's all the Mitsubishi Lancer of young Molly, leading by 1.2 seconds back to Jesse Leeson in 18. And they're going to put a lap down on the 28 car of Ella Whitehead, who runs in 3rd place at the moment. There's Dickerson 3/4 track high down there in turn number 3. In the 199. As they head down the front straight. Nice bit of contact there between Ken Hedder in 25 and Ella Whitehead, who've battled for 3rd place throughout this one. But 2 to run for our New Star Junior sedans, and Molly Dickerson thunders down the back straight into turn number 3 in the Mitsubishi Lancer. Got plenty of real estate between herself and the AM Wreckers group, number 18 of Jesse Leeson. Of course, Jesse, the feature winner last night in Esperance. Molly Dickerson looking to try and reverse that this evening. But Molly heads out of turn 2 and down the back straight for the final time. In car number 199, back to Jesse Leeson and Ken Hedder and Ella Whitehead continue to battle for 3rd place at the end of this one. But it's going to be Molly Dickerson taking maximum points to start the night for the New Star Junior sedans. as they contest the Esperance versus Kalgoorlie Challenge. The 18 of Jesse Leeson will be home in second place. Little Whitehead is going to pinch third on the line. Kind of a 28, the Endo Excel from right here in Kalgoorlie from Ken Hedder in 25. And rounding them out, kind of a 23, another one of the Lancers is Mia Urseg, the Urseg family, long time Speedway campaigners down there in Esperance. Quick time of the race at 22.296, which belonged to our race winner, Molly Dickinson. Actually did that lap time on the final circulation and got the win by over 2 seconds back to Leeson and Whitehead. That was event number 3, heat number 1. New Star Junior Sedans. It does say in our program that the New Stars and the Top Stars would be together tonight. That's not the case. We're going to split them. So we'll add 3 extra races to our program this evening at the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. And looking forward to what's to come over the course of tonight as we present round number 12 of the Pro Dirt Late Model Series. Our Top Star Junior Sedans are all green as they come off turn number 4. 6 of them to do battle tonight. Humphreys and Barrett on the front row. And Brock and Mitch, they've swapped cars tonight. So it's going to make things a little bit more confusing for myself. But we're all green here. And he'd done one of the Top Star Junior Sedans. And Lincoln Humphreys, son of Zane, grandson of Kay and Mark, leads at the moment from Charlie Scott up in second place in the 0-1-1. He had a good run last night down at the Tyres of Moore Esperance Speedway. Brock Barrett running the Lancer tonight. He was in the Mirage last night in Esperance. So that's why he's got the number 9 roof plate on the car, 49 on the door. But he runs third from his brother Mitchell, who's in the Mirage. He's got Nathan Brown, who also hails out of Esperance, and car number 26 for company. And car number 12, well, Blake Holding rounds them out. But with 2 down and 6 remaining, it's the local taking on the 5 Esperance drivers, and he leads the way at the moment in Charlie Scott. 20.795 that last time around for the 0-1-1 Mirage. As Barrett, that being Brock Barrett, working to the outside of Lincoln Humphreys as they enter turn number 3. Big lunge on the outside, and the Lancer moves up into second place. Does Brock Barrett. He was in the Mirage last night that Mitch is in further back in the field. Mitch banging doors with Nathan Brown coming into the front straight. Brown on the low line, Barrett on the outside, and Mitch Brown just shuts the door as they enter turn number 1. 26 car trying to work back to his inside on the exit of turn number 2. The 26 car now in 4th place. But we're halfway home this time around. An event number 4 of the night. And it's the Top Star Junior Sedans. And Charlie Scott dominating this one at the moment. He goes even quicker again with a 20.793. Further back to Brock Barrett in the 9. Lincoln Humphreys, our pole sitter, runs third. That battle for 4th and 5th is absolutely raging. And if you're new to Speedway, ladies and gentlemen, our Top Star Junior Sedans are more experienced junior sedan competitors aged between 10 and 17. A great breeding ground for the Speedway stars of the future. As Nathan Brown to the outside on Mitchell Barrett. A great battle for 4th and 5th place down there in turns 1 and 2 before a bumper crowd on this Saturday night here in the Goldfields. But with 2 laps remaining, It's all Charlie Scott dominating this one in the yellow Mirage that I think he debuted at the national title last month down in Esperance after a long time behind the wheel of a Hyundai Excel. But he's got 2.2 seconds back to Brock Barrett in the Lancer, then a gaggle for third. Just starting to range up on the back bumper of the 39 of Lincoln Humphreys. Mitch Barrett and Nathan Brown and Blake Holding in car number 12 rounds them out. Esperance in good numbers tonight, and the Esperance versus Kalgoorlie Challenge, particularly in the top star side of things. There's the white flag on display for the mountain trackers. It's got a little bit untidy down there in turn number 1 between Brown and Barrett. Bit of contact, but they gather it up and the green lights stay on. But it's going to be a Kalgoorlie victory to start the night in the top star junior sedans. The 0-1-1 of Charlie Scott gets it done from the 9 of Brock Barrett back there in second. Further back to Lincoln Humphreys be third, and that battle will go the way of Nathan Brown for fourth in 26 from Mitchell Barrett in 49, and rounding them out, the purple Lancer, car number 12 of Blake Holding. A 21.747 his last lap. His quick time of the race on lap number 2 for Charlie Scott. A 20.795 as he takes the victory by 2.5 seconds back to Brock Barrett and Lincoln Humphreys back there in third place. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please be patient with our canteen staff here in the front straight. They're a little bit understaffed, so your patience with that here in the front straight would be greatly appreciated. The bar is in operation as well for your convenience. And a big thanks once again to Perseverance Underground, Ozcub Service, Hudson Prestige Engineering. They've been huge supporters of the Kalgoorlie International Speedway, the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway in the last few days, in the last few months, in actual fact, in the off-season here at Kalgoorlie, as Speedway returns to this part of the world. And we've got a colouring in comp, Dean Shaw's just telling me, the president of the Boulder Speedway Association. We're going to find that, Shawry. Oh, no. Oh, the kids have already got the colouring in competition. Hand them in. Where are we going to hand them into? Hand them into the canteen? Oh, okay. So, what's the prize there, Shawry? Okay, so... Yeah. Just Dean Shaw telling me the colouring in competition, if you would have got that on your way into the venue tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So the kids are out there colouring them in, hand them into the canteen. And the prize, which I'll tell you in a few moments what it's going to be handed out at interval. I've also got some hats and some stubby holders, courtesy of the team from Late Model Racing Western Australia, to give out at interval as well. Big thanks to Ross's Auctioneers and Valuers for making that possible. Also thanks Canning Vale Toyota, Maddington Toyota, and all the associated sponsors with the Pro Dirt Late Model Series. Did say last night, Wilson Brewing Company, the official beer of the Late Model Racing Western Australia. We sampled just a couple of them last night after the meeting down in Esperance. Beautiful product. Give them a like on Facebook, Wilson Brewing Company. If you're ever down in Albany, their headquarters down there in that part of the world. Beautiful place to have some lunch and a couple of cold drinks. That's Wilson Brewing Company. Give the Dirt Track Nutters a like on Facebook, Late Model Racing Western Australia. Give the Kalgoorlie International Speedway a like on Facebook as well. It's going to be a huge 2026 season coming up. The Maddington Toyota Sprint Car Series, the biggest names in West Australian sprint car racing, heading to the Goldfields. Saturday, the 21st of March. Write it down in your calendar. Don't be anywhere else that night, but here at the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway, we're absolutely going to fill the place on that particular occasion with the sprint cars will be in town. As our production sedans are out on track, this is event number 5. Heat number 1 of 8 laps for these guys with some beautifully turned out cars. So it's going to be Charlie Tate, the 24. He's in the Lancer last night. He's in the production, well, in the Commodore tonight in the production sedans. Tia Ingram to his outside in 33. Jackie Maroney in 78. The 8, Cody Roberts, feature winner last night in Esperance. His twin brother Luke will go around in car number 38. 15 also from Esperance for Sheldon Lunchbox. Josh Major in the 10 of Tilly Leonard as we're all go. And heat number 1 of the production sedans are all Commodores with the exception of Josh Major in the 15 Falcon. As a little bit tight down there in turns 1 and 2, but the green lights stay on. As I mentioned, Charlie Tate, he raced the Lancer, the front-wheel drive entry last night. He also raced that in the state title at Narrogin last month. But he leads the way in the AM Wreckers group number 24. Jackie Maroney quickly up in a second on lap number 1. From last night's feature race winner, Cody Roberts in car number 8. His dad, Jason Roberts, a long-time campaigner at this venue over the journey. Josh Major is up in 4th early in this one for Sheldon Lunchbox. Then the 38 of Luke Roberts, 33 is Tina Ingram, and the 10 of Tilly Leonard is the way they run in our production sedans. Heat number 1. One of the stronger classes in the eastern part of our state these days between the Esperance and Kalgoorlie clubs. As Jackie Maroney hits the lead on the back straight. Car number 78, Jackie, very unlucky in the last couple of state titles. He's been running inside the top 5 before a non-finish. The down-to-earth adventure and camping number 78 for Esperance Combined Tire and Mechanical. With 3 down and 5 remaining. Sets the quick time on lap number 3, does our leader. Maroney's, Charlie Tate has a spin down there in turn number 2. Throws away second place. In the process, he'll rejoin in about 5th. Right in front of the beautifully turned out Commodore of Tina Ingram. Car number 33, but we're halfway home. In event number 5, it is for production sedans. And it's Jackie Maroney leading the way. This is the last race of the opening round for our support classes into heats 1 and 2 of the late models in a couple of moments' time. But it's Maroney. Handicap back to Cody Roberts in car number 8. Josh Major sitting in 3rd in the Sheldon Lunchbox number 15 from Esperance. He has Luke Roberts for company. Luke Roberts in that newly acquired Commodore. In fact, it's the ex-Rod Mazzara Commodore. Rod Mazzara racing tonight in the late models. Charlie Tate back in 5th from Tina Ingram, and Tilly Leonard is the way they run. But 2 laps between Jackie Maroney and victory in car number 78 as he helps the Esperance club contest the Esperance versus Kalgoorlie Challenge as he exits turn number 2 and heads down the back straight. Cody Roberts back in 2nd, and Josh Major rounding them out as Tilly Leonard spins off the end of the main straight in car number 10, but is well out of harm's way. But Jackie Maroney, it's a white flag 1 to run as Tilly Leonard rejoins down there in turn number 1. But Maroney down the back straight for the final time. Car number 78 takes the Esperance Combined Tire and Mechanical entry. It turns 3 and 4 for the final time, and we'll record the victory. Car number 78, the opening production sedan heat race of the night. Second name will be Cody Roberts. Then back to Josh Major, who hold on to 3rd place, holding off Luke Roberts in the 38. Then 24 for Esperance Combined Tire and Mechanicals, Charlie Tate. A long way back to the 33 of Tina Ingram. And then 1 lap down was the 10 car of Tilly Leonard after that spin down there in turn number 1 in the opening heat of the production sedans. But a quick time of the race, 20.426 for Jackie Maroney. He takes the win by nearly 3 seconds back to Cody Roberts, and Josh Major went from P6 to be 3rd in the opening production sedan heat race of the night. That was event number 5, and we're only moments away from heat races 1 and 2 of our late models. I'll give you the grid for both those heat races. Heat number 1 will be 76 of Ben Strawtons and the 81 of Peter Walker will be your front row. 74 Nathan Richards and 28 Matt Sangston from row 2. Row 3, the 80 of Damien Hudson and the 199 of Jeff Dickerson. Row 4 will be 21 Rod Mazzara and the 7 of Sean Cubbage and the 24 Jeff Powell from Cal. We'll start from P9. Heat 2 of our late models will line up like this. It'll be the 91 of Michael Holmes and the 15 of Warren Alford to be your front row. 04 Greg Horan and 52 Jay Carty from row 2. 95 Avi Pickering and 36 Jay Bassinelli. 23 Joe Chalmers and the 11 of Bo Oldfield and the 57 of Matt Robbins will go from P9. So 2 of our quicker Kalgoorlie drivers with some work to do in Powell and Robbins, both going from P9. And they're opening heat races tonight for round number 12 of the Pro Dirt Late Model Series, brought to us tonight by Oz Cub Service, Perseverance Drilling, and Hudson Prestige Engineering. And also big thanks to Axis Mineral Services for their support of this venue over the last couple of months. All right, we're ready to go. Pro Dirt Late Model Series racing here tonight at the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. Ben Straughtons and Peter Walker here front row. 9 starters, 8 laps ahead of them. We're racing on a Saturday night here in Kalgoorlie. And our pole sitter from Esperance, Ben Straughtons, got the best of the dispatch. Watch for Rod Mazzara to work his way forward along with the local in Callum Brady and Damien Hudson as they thunder into turn number 3. And it's Ben Straughtons who leads the way. On lap number 1 from Walker is further back in the field. It's getting willing between Nathan Richards, Damien Hudson, and Rod Mazzara. Oh, Ben Straughtons ran wide. And the snap on Callum Brady won. Peter Walker hits the lead as Sangston's got Nathan Richards, Damien Hudson, and Rod Mazzara working to his inside. And Richards will lose a bunch of spots in the process. Look at Rocket Rod. He didn't finish a race last night in Esperance. The 21 car for High Tech Oils trying to motor its way forward. Hudson working the top shelf in turn number 3. So late models thunder into the front straight. It's all Peter Walker. Hudson around the outside of Matt Sangston here in the front straight on lap number 3. Mazzara follows him around the outside. Up in the 4th place, as does Sean Cummage on the low line. On the exit of turn number 2, the late models thunder down the back straight into turns 3 and 4, but it's Walker who leads this one by 3.1 seconds. Back to Ben Straughtons, who very shortly is going to have Damien Hudson for company. Then back to Rod Mazzara and Sean Cummage, but your top 5. Matt Sangston, Nathan Richards, Jeff Dickerson, and Jeff Powell from Cowes. Away they run as Rod Mazzara working to the inside on Damien Hudson down there in turn number 1. A great battle for 3rd and 4th place, and Mazzara will take it on the exit of turn number 2. The High Tech Horse number 21 motoring towards 2nd place now on the back of Ben Straughtons on the rear tail of the 76. The 15.733. The quick time for Walker as Damien Hudson, a 15.66, won that last time around. But Peter Walker, barring a stoppage, has got this one shot to bits. He leads by a big margin. In fact, it's over 4 seconds. Back to Ben Straughtons. Mazzara and Hudson throwing everything at the Esperance driver. Mazzara runs wide in turn number 2. And Damien Hudson there to capitalise. He's pretty fresh, Hutto. He didn't race in Esperance last night. He's in 3rd. Mazzara fighting back on the 80 car from here in Kalgoorlie in the front straight. What a great battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Mazzara working to his inside. This is worth the price of admission alone. What a great racetrack and what a great battle we've got for 2nd, 3rd and 4th for the late models. Straughtons, Hudson and Mazzara. Sean Cummage still 5th. Mazzara not done with on the inside of Hudson. They're going at it. They get checked up behind the 76 of Ben Straughtons. Checkered flag time for our leader, Peter Walker. He'll take the win. Oh boy! Hudson into the back of Ben Straughtons down there in turns 3 and 4, and he spins the 80 car and keeps it out of the concrete wall down there in turn number 3. The race leader, Peter Walker, did get the checkered flag, so I think that one might be done. We've gone yellow. Hold all tickets on heat number 1 of the late models. Whew. What a battle, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the damage on the nose cone for Damien Hudson. He was throwing everything at Ben Straughtons. He was proving difficult to find a way by. And yet his hands full, Damien Hudson, with the 21 of Rod Mazzara. Look at him limping to the infield. It looks like we might be getting a restart. I thought the race leader had crossed the checkered flag. Stand by. I think Damien Hudson is going to be quite difficult to be able to continue on here. He's got some damage to car number 81. That nose cone. He just got on the back of the 76 there on that final lap. And Peter Walker, he would not want to restart. He had checked out on him by over 4 seconds, did Walker. So just still waiting to hear what's going to transpire here. But the 81 car, I'm almost certain, in fact I am certain, that he crossed the checkered flag. So that one should be all done and dusted, but we will await the official's decision on that one. I think it might be all she wrote there for heat number 1. In fact, it's all over. So, just confirming, ladies and gentlemen, that race has been run and won. Peter Walker will be your winner, and Damien Hudson will go from 3rd to be credited with 9th place finish there in heat number 1. But our man downstairs for tonight, Jason Sutton from Late Model Racing Western Australia, is the general manager these days, doing some great interviews this weekend providing plenty of colour for the social media. But he's downstairs to have a chat with our winner, Peter Walker, in Gunner Brady 1.
Alan Smallwood, wow, that's all I can say. Heat number 1, what a fantastic effort. Thanks to Ross's Auctioneers and Valuers here for us at the Pro Dirt Series and Snap-on Tools, Kalgoorlie. What a fantastic heat. This is your third heat, mate. You win, you've actually started to make a little bit of a habit of this.
Look, after last night, I'm pretty happy to put it up on the front for the heat. Last night was pretty tough, but yeah, we've come back and to start off with a win is bloody great. Yeah, three meetings on the trot with a win. That's bloody fantastic.
Track looks really good and juicy, suited your race style.
Oh, that track was mint. That was just hammer down, Bloody I hurt my wrist a little bit last night, but it was just pretty easy to get through the corners, and yeah, once it got out in clear air, it was it was good. I done a few laps around this track. It used to be my home track, so yeah, it's just like being at home again.
Congratulations, Peter Walker. Well done. Fantastic effort for heat number 1. Smalley also, what a race by that 21 car in Rocket Rod Massara. He was absolutely coming. This is starting to build into something big tonight. I think you're going to see something special here in the Pro Dirt Series.
Yeah, certainly, Jason Sutton. That was awesome stuff from our late models. And that battle for the minors, you have to feel for Damien Hudson in Cunningham 80. He'll be credited with 9th place in that last heat race for the late models. We'll give you the official result of that one. Peter Walker, your winner from Ben Stroughton's. Rod Mazzara will be officially 3rd from Sean Cubbage, Nathan Richards 5th, Matt Sankson, Jeff Dickerson, Jeff Powell, and Damien Hudson for going around and causing that yellow light stoppage after Peter Walker had crossed the checkered flag. Will be credited with 9th place in heat number 1 for our late models. As Jason Sutton alluded to, that battle, particularly Rod Mazzara, was absolutely throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Ben Stroughton's and Damien Hudson. It paid off. He got one of them. He got 3rd. Hudson, unfortunately, coming unstuck there in turn number 3 in that final lap. Starters and drivers. Looks like Warren Oldfield is having some dramas with the 15. Needed some assistance to even get the car back into the pit area after hot laps, and couldn't actually stop the car in the front straight. So it's something maybe regarding the clutch or something like that.
Yeah, Smalley, just jumping in. Sorry, mate. He had a fuel pump issue earlier on. And they were working pretty feverishly on it, so it could be still part of that.
Oh, okay. That will certainly be a cause of concern for the Oldfield Racing team. They're minus Jamie tonight. So a little bit more crew on the tools this evening, just concentrating on Bo. And of course, they're also minus Jason Oldfield as well, who raced last night in Esperance, but won't race tonight in the Litchfield Motorsports number 5. So this doesn't look good. Sutto for Warren Oldfield. 7-time Pro Dirt Late Model Series champion. His 37th career win in A-Main competition for the Pro Dirt Late Model Series last night down there in Esperance. It was actually his first win in Esperance as well, by the way. He's already had 4 feature wins at this venue in Pro Dirt competition, so he doesn't mind the Kalgoorlie venue. But it's pretty hard to win when you're having mechanical woes early in the night. So hopefully the 15 team can get that turned around for his second heat, but he'll be starting the A-Main from a fairway back with a non-finish in his opening outing. This is heat number 2. We'll feature Michael Holmes and Jay Carty now in front row. 2 regulars of the Pro Dirt Late Model Series. 04 Greg Horan, 36 Jay Bassinelli. 95 Abby Pickering, the 11 of Bo Oldfield, who is a former junior sedan state champion, was runner-up last night. He's got 4 podium results now in Pro Dirt Late Model competition without a win. That won't be, it's only a matter of if not when from for the 11. Joe Chalmers in 23 and 57 of Matt Robbins. Your 8 starters here for heat number 2 of the late models. As we get set to go green, this time off turn number 4. Holmes and Carty. Your front rows, we're green. 10 laps ahead of our late models as they thunder into turn number 1. And Jay Carty, the very famous surname in V8 sedan racing, leads out of turn 2 and down the back straight for the first occasion. Michael Holmes in second as Matt Robbins from the back of the bus trying to work to the outside. On his home track, they're just going to come up on the 36 of Jay Bassinelli. As the late models thunder down the main straight, watch for Joe Chalmers to try and make his presence felt in car number 23. As they thunder out of turn number 2 and down the back straight, it's all Jay Carty, who's been a main event winner in this series in over the journey. He's got over 200 career starts with the Pro Dirt Late Model Series. As Jay Carty in 52, he leads from Holmes. Bo Oldfield as Abby Pickering battling with Joe Chalmers and Matt Robbins. Those 3 very quick each time they turn out for a Pro Dirt Late Model Series round here in Western Australia. Pickering to the outside on Robbins. Just getting backed up a little bit behind Bassinelli here in the front straight. Robbins on the low line as they into turn number 1. Pickering and Chalmers. Oh, it got very tight on the exit of turn number 2 for Matt Robbins, a local son of Greg Robbins, who raced at this venue for many, many years. As Matt Robbins again to the inside on Bassinelli on the exit of turn number 4. Works his way up into 4th place. Pickering trying to work to the outside. Joe Chalmers stuck on the bottom and Greg Horan rounding them out. But back up front, it's Cardi from Michael Holmes, and Bo Oldfield now challenging the Michael Holmes Racing number 91 in front of him. So we're halfway home. Quick time of the race is 16.295 on lap number 3 from the 11 car of Bo Oldfield. But Joe Chalmers is the talking point, struggling to make any presence felt in here in heat number 2, trying to work his way forward. That's Bo Oldfield bustling to the inside on Michael Holmes here in the front straight. The Rumbold Ford entry looking to the inside of Michael Holmes on the exit of turn number 2 as they thunder down the back straight here in Kalgoorlie into turn number 3 on this Saturday night. Jay Carty, 3 laps between himself and a heat win. And he did a pretty tough night at the office last night in Esperance. Him and his dad Chris working to the wee hours to get the car turned around to race here tonight in Kalgoorlie. As he heads into turn number 3. Holmes and Oldfield thunder into turn number 3 to the 91 and 11 cars respectively. Down the front straight, 2 to run. And Barry Wright Icon, cut number 11 for Redline Roll Cages in Bo Oldfield. Working to the inside of Michael Holmes on the exit of turn number 2. Down the back straight. Bo looks to the inside on Michael Holmes. Great battle for 2nd and 3rd place as our leader, Jay Carty, will get the white flag. 1 to run for the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. Bo Oldfield's not done with it. Michael Holmes. Again, he looks to the inside. The exit of turn number 2 and head down the back straight for the title time. I think Jay Carty's going to do enough to hold on and take the win from the front row. Then car number 52, the Carty Race Components entry, gets it done from Michael Holmes. Bo Oldfield will be 3rd. Matt Robbins from the back of the bus, he'd be happy to be home in 4th from Joe Chalmers, who got it together there in the concluding stages. And car number 23, 95 of Abby Pickering, 36 of Jay Bastinelli in the 04 for Esperance Ag Services. You betcha. Greg Horan rounds them out. Warren Oldfield, a non-starter, in car number 15. And the quick time of the race is 16.106, which actually belonged to Matt Robbins back there in 5th. And Joe Chalmers and Bo Oldfield with some quick times there in that one as well. The winning margin between Carty and Holmes, 1.1 seconds. But Jay Carty leads all 10 circulations of the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway in car number 52. He gets the job done over Holmes and Bo Oldfield, your top 3. But the talking point out of heat number 2, Sutto, a non-start there for Warren Oldfield in car number 15.
Yeah, that's big, Smalley. Having Warren do that, it's going to put him way back in the field, which will be exciting for the fans if he can get that thing going. Also, with the Smoke and Joe Chalmers deal, he actually, got a couple of spots, but I tell you what, he wasn't where he should be either. So they're going to be cars sort of mid-pack and back further, probably more than we thought. But this man here had a great start in 52. GPPD, Carty Racing Components, number 52, Jay Carty. You're smiling, Jay Carty, mate, because it's hard to get a heat win these days.
Yeah, it is. I should have got one last week and I backed off towards the end, so I was super nervous about that. It seemed to be a long 8 laps, but maybe it's just me counting down wrong. But hey, it's good. Hopefully the track widens up a bit. It's a little bit rougher than I thought, but that's all right. So it was a new surface, and I'm sure they'll sort it out at quarter time, whatever it is, the interval, and smooth it out a bit, and it'll be good.
Now, you've run a lot of Pro Dirt Series rounds, and you must have just forgotten about most of them, but coming to Kalgoorlie is always pretty special.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a bit of success here over the years. We've had a bit of a lean spell in the last couple of years, but we've had lots of success here previously. So, we know how to get around, and Chris has been working super hard, and we've got a really nice car going, and when you have a heat win, you only need to do good in your next heat, and then you start towards the front, and then it just flows from there.
Congratulations, Jay Carty, Heat 2 winner here at the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. Thanks to Ross's Auctioneers and Valuers for the Pro Dirt Series. And Smalley, that battle for second was pretty damn good too when we had Holmesy and Bo Oldfield going at it, and Bo tried every kind of line. I think we are going to be in for a ripper Heat 3 and 4 of the Pro Dirt Series.
Oh, it's a elbows up racetrack on this Saturday night. It's super fast, and as Jay Carty alluded to, a new surface here in Kalgoorlie. The team from the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway have put in a huge amount of work over the last couple of months in anticipation of this monster 2026 season here in the Goldfields. Some big shows, late models tonight, The sprint cars next month, the Red Dirt Rumble when the late models come back in May, Bob Wakefield Cup in June. Some big shows in this part of the world as we're already into the second round of competition. Racetrack, cherry ripe, absolutely motoring with the late models in those opening 2 heat races for those guys tonight. A 15.832, just had it pointed out to me. Joe Chalmers, he sort of struggled early in that heat race. Come to life on the last lap with a 15.832, which was easily the fastest time there in heat number 2 of the late models. But Amcar Nationals, heat 2, as the Esperance versus Kalgoorlie Challenge for 2026 continues here tonight. Well, the Amcar field has grown by 1. Ben Stroughton's doing double duty tonight. He's out there in the number 76 Amcar, and he's off pole in this one. He wasn't out in the opening heat. He's been in his late model a couple of times tonight, hot laps, and then his first heat race where he finished in second. He's out there in heat 2 of the Amcars, but Sean Mazzucchelli, it's the race lead on the opening lap on the back straight, puts Stroughton's back to second. So a field of 6 Amcars to go round as well. Will Browning, a bit of a moment. This freshly watered racing surface here at the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. Stroughton's in second from Sean Kerwin. Will Browning in 41, trying to work his way forward. The purple and green machine on the exit of turn number 2. Mitchell White and Lee Parsons is the way they run as they're 3 wide for second. Will Browning, the seas parted for him. He takes the opportunity on the outside as they enter turn number 3. He moves up in a second. So Mazzucchelli from Browning. It's a Kalgoorlie 1-2 now. Ben Stroughton's and Sean Kerwin battling for 3rd and 4th place. And around goes the 76 down there in turn number 1. Gathers it up. Green lights stay on. And we continue on here in heat 2 of the Amcars. As our leader, Sean Mazzucchelli, enters the front straight. Car number 48 from Will Browning. Sean Kerwin now in 3rd. And Ben Stroughton's on the recovery. It'd be a little bit puffed racing 2 classes. It's not easy work racing a late model, and we've gone yellow, yellow, yellow. Sean Kerwin facing the wrong way down there in turns 1 and 2. So on come the caution lights. On lap 3 of 8, this is actually the last Amcar heat race of the night. There's just 2 heat races per class. And then they'll all have 15-lap feature races, with the exception of our late models that are having 2 heat races each over 10 laps, and then a 30-lap final for those guys to conclude this big night of Speedway in the Goldfields. So Sean Kerwin getting the assistance of the Cal Signs. Pace suit down there in turns 1 and 2. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, our canteen in operation here in the front straight, but please be patient. They are a little bit short-staffed tonight. They're a little bit short-staffed this evening. Had a couple of people that were scheduled to help them this evening pull out at the last minute, which does happen from time to time. Volunteer-ran organisation, so we'd appreciate your patience with our canteen here in the front straight. Don't forget about the Kalgoorlie Speedway raffle, page 2 of the program if you've got one, but you can also find out information about it on the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway Facebook page. $25,000 cash for first prize, $3,000 cash for second, and $1,000 for third. There's only 800 tickets, and tickets are $100 each. $100 each are the tickets. There's 800 available. So remarkable, $29,000 cash. So the QR code is in the program. That will be drawn here at the Kalgoorlie International Speedway on Sunday, the 24th of May. The winners will be announced on the website, Facebook page, and also in the Kalgoorlie Minor. So $25,000 cash. That's to generate some much-needed funds for infrastructure projects here at the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. Amcars will get back underway this time around. 5 laps remaining in their second and final heat of the night. They will have a 15-lap feature race to conclude their night of racing. But Sean Mazzucchelli, the winner of the feature race last night in Esperance, he'd love to go through the weekend with 2 feature wins as we get back underway. The Amcars, got untidy coming to the witch's hat. Here in the front straight. But Ben Stroughton's gathered it in at the right moment. Sean Kerwin has been sent to the rear of the field on the comeback mission in car number 7 as our Amcar Nationals thunder into turns 3 and 4 down the front straight. But it's all Sean Mazzucchelli. In car number 48, your race leader at the moment as he exits turn number 2 at 19.495 that last time around. Well, our Amcar Nationals with 3 to run. Will Browning sitting there in second. Ben Stroughton's double duty tonight in the Amcar and the late model. Sitting back there in 3rd place as the Amcars head down the front straight. Sean Kerwin in 4th from Mitchell White in 93 and Lee Parsons in 99 is the way they run as Kerwin. They've been the Sean variety, looking at the inside of his fellow Esperance resident in Ben Stroughton's down there in turn number 3. But Mazzucchelli on the loud paddle down the front straight. With 2 laps remaining, the Snap-on Tools Kalgoorlie International Speedway. It's Mazzucchelli from Browning. Ben Stroughton's and Sean Kerwin, a great battle for 3rd and 4th place as they exit turn number 2 and head down the back straight. Now leader gets inconvenienced big time. Sean Mazzucchelli with a big problem. Will Browning working to his outside. They're side by side down the front straight in the 41 car. Will Browning hits the lead inside of the white flag. So Browning now takes the front running. Mazzucchelli and Sean Kerwin coming from the clouds down the back straight for the final time. It's going to be a grandstand finish. Sean Kerwin goes to the top shelf in turn number 3, but Will Browning's going to steal the victory in car number 41. Mazzucchelli's only barely going to hold on to second from the fast finishing Sean Kerwin. He went to the back of the bus early in that race. Further back will be Ben Stroughton's in 76 from Mitchell White, and Lee Parson rounds them out. Lee was a couple of laps down, but exciting finish. Hope you like that one, Kalgoorlie. Will Browning took the opportunity, and he takes the win. Quick time of the race on the final lap from Sean Kerwin, the 19.323. They had something there for Sean Mazzucchelli. He looked to have that one shot to bits. But it'll be Browning from Mazzucchelli, Kerwin, Stroughton's, White and Parsons is the way they'll finish. Heat number 2 of the Amcars, their final heat of the night, which was event number 8.